You may be surprised to find out that you don't have to divide your estate equally among your children. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney who helps people protect their legacies through planning. Today we're going to talk about whether you actually have to divide your estate equally amongst your children. It's one of the biggest misconceptions that my clients ask me about at that first meeting. So let's say, for example, a couple comes to me and they have 3 children. Now, all 3 children are grown up. One child's doing very well for themselves. Another one is doing okay, and the third one really needs money. Now, the guilt of a parent comes in, and they say, well, "What should we do? Should we leave more to child number 3? Should we try to do it equally? What should we do?" And that's where the estate plan being personalized to you is so important. You don't have to equally leave the same amount to each of your children. However, if you don't have a will, the state you're in will likely do just that. In the absence of a will that specifically says what you want to have happen, your state's laws will normally say you've got 3 children, we're going to divide it up 1/3 each, and that's the end of it. That's why it's also important not to just take some will off of a website, because chances are when you check those boxes, that's the default provision, that your children should be inheriting equally from you. But with 3 different children, you can have 3 very different circumstances. One example that I've used in the past is taking 80% of your estate and dividing that up amongst your children, and then holding back 20% in a trust. And then that trust can be used in case of emergencies, in case one child needs it more than another. And if there's no such need, then at the time of your death, you can just have that extra 20% distributed to your children. But no matter what happens, you want to make sure that your estate plan reflects your actual circumstances. If you have one child who's very wealthy and another child who's barely making ends meet, there's nothing wrong with giving more money to one child versus the other. This is why you need to make sure that your estate plan is put together correctly. And there's 2 ways you could try to do this. One, you could try to do it yourself. You can go to a website, you can fill out their forms, but watch out, because I guarantee you that selection is automatically checked for you to divide it equally among your children. And if you want to really get into the weeds, get in the nitty-gritty and change it around, you probably can't use their forms. There's probably something grayed out that says you can pay extra, or then you need to talk to an attorney. And then what have you really paid for? Now, the second way, and the better way to do this, is to work with a professional. Talk to an estate planning attorney, talk to your financial advisor, make sure that your estate plan is lined up with the actual circumstances of your children. Another example where this can be incredibly important is if you have a child with special needs. And if your child with special needs is receiving state benefits, you don't want to just divide up your estate 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 amongst 3 children, because you could then cause your child to lose their state benefits. This is not something you should just be leaving to a mail merge website. So if you've got a will with children and you want to make sure that the right amount is going to the right children, go to andrewmayers.com, click that schedule a consultation button, and you'll be taken to my personal calendar where we can set up a legal strategy session to discuss the best options for you and your family. Just because everyone else tells you you have to divide it equally amongst your children doesn't mean you really do.